Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You know what time it is. We getting close to the football. You know what I'm saying? So it's time to bring the goats out the stable. This is Goat Talk. You know what I mean? The first edition or the first episode of Goat Talk, for the upcoming season, this magical season we about to have. Shout out my guy Philly Mike, man. You know what I'm saying? We came back together to make it happen. And we're gonna be very consistent every weekend. Tap into us. What's up, Mike? What's going on?
Hey, chat. LB's right. I was the reason we're late.
You saw
I'm
that?
always the reason.
I didn't want you to see that. I just put that on. I switched it from all and I put it on mine. I'm like, I want him to see this shit. But it's Mike, y'all. No, but
It
shout out
is
the
what it
but,
is.
but shout out to Mike though, man. It is what it is, man. Perfection, man. It be taking time. So, we didn't even really collab the whole training camp, Mike. We didn't even really talk about. I mean, we talked about a lot of shit offline, but we ain't really, bust this down for the people. So, like, what's going on? You like, listen. I'm gonna let you start it off, man. Where do you want to begin?
Well, let's start with today, and we'll work ourselves back from the Jets game and all the other
Mhm.
practices and what we think. But ding, ding, ding. Andre Diller's not just fighting one, but he's fighting anybody who steps up to the plate. Look, so supposedly Derek Barnett and Diller got into a scuffle after a one-on-one rep. Derek Barnett, the whistle blew. He kept going like Barnett always does, right? Whether it's a penalty or just being too
Wow.
rough at practice. And Andre Diller wasn't having it. Bang, bang, boom, boom. And then Andre Diller versus, I think, the linebacker, Patrick Johnson.
Yeah, it was
Bang,
Patrick
they're
Johnson.
throwing hands too. So Andre Dillard, he understands the magnitude of this offseason. He's got right physically, right? He ain't no Lane Johnson, but he got right. And he understands that once a first round pick, now back up to Jordan Mailata, who used to play rugby for his career, who now I believe is going to be a top 10 left tackle for sure. But he understands that he has to make moves, and he's not letting nobody get in his way. But I like that. There's certain type of chippiness I like. I don't like Derek Barnett starting the fight because he needs to get his head right. I think there's talent there. It's all upstairs. But Andre Diller's not taking no for an answer, and sometimes you need that. And Philly's been about this dog mentality since Nick Sirianni there. Nick Sirianni, he was going to throw hands against the Jets coach for letting that late hit. So I like the scrappiness as long as it doesn't get out of hand.
Right, and it seems like with these little altercations, we keeping them like within the confines of the field. You know what I mean? It's just staying at practice and it's dying there because you heard of some situations that AJ Brown and Slay kind of got into it. You know what I mean? That's just guys going at it. But to see Andre Dillard had this type of fire in him, he was talked about. You know what I mean? In recent years. You know what I mean? As a guy that was a little mild-mannered, you know what I mean? Not as energetic or not a fiery type of guy. To see this let me know that he maturing into a man. And he trying to, take ownership of what's his. Now, this is what I believe. Like, you know what I mean? He might have been shown up by Mailata, but it's still tremendous value out there for Andre Dillard. There's a lot of people that can use that left tackle. You know what I mean? It shows you we chose to keep him. We didn't, trade him. It shows you his value right there. But this is interesting from today, though. The interesting thing that jumped out to me was Arcega Whiteside not practicing. Like, what's really going on right there, Mike? Like, do you think we releasing him? We trying to shop him? I'm gonna go with we trying to release him because I mean he hasn't really shown anything that anybody would show interest and say, listen, let's get that guy. I mean, before we trade for Arcega Whiteside at the wide receiver position, I'm gonna just go get an undrafted free agent and try to mold him. You know what I mean? That's just the nature of the beast. So you know what I mean? What you think is going on right there?
Yeah, man. Shout out to Victor at the Philly Pod. He's the first one that said it. He said nothing confirmed. He's working to confirm it, but the early word is that JJ Arcega Whiteside might not make this roster. When you get moved to another position, you already know that the coaching staff is trying their best to find a spot. And as Via, they're not trying to omit another mistake, right? Whether we think Rager and Whiteside were both mistakes, Howie Roseman had great drafts, but he's still not trying to just allow his other drafts to be 100% garbage. And so they're going to get as much leniency first and second round picks as possible. With that being said, can survive at the wide receiver, all camp as a tight end, and now you're not injured and you're not practicing after barely playing in the Jets game. One of them guys eventually are going to lose your spot, regardless of the first round or second round tag next to them, either Rager or Whiteside. And what I can say is this: Rager played and he was not that good. Whiteside, I guess, whether it's Doug Peterson or Nick Sirianni, he can't impress enough to get on the field. So I think, the Whiteside story to me has been just something I've never, ever, ever heard out there and stinking a little bit like Nelson Aguilar and Jalen Reagor, but he stinks and he stays on the roster, but the coaches never even allow him to go out there and stink. It's just a wild situation. I do think
Yeah.
Whiteside might get cut.
Yeah, I think that's the only way you really can go about it. I think we actually waited too long, and it kind of hurt his career. It kind of helped and hurt at the same time, because maybe that guy just needed a little change of scenery or something. Maybe he needed a different style of coach or a different environment to get his career on the right track. That's what I fear happening with Jalen Reagor. I really fear that happening with Jalen Reagor. You know what I mean? Like, I think Jalen Reagor still got some talent. You know what I mean? I think his talent there. Like, you can see it. Like, certain times you can see, like, yo, if he could consistently do X, Y, and Z, he'll be fine. Like, it's something to work with him. You know what I mean? And I think he's going to be better with us this year. I think he's going to produce. Like if you're like the fourth guy and you can get me 400 passing yards, I'm not mad at that. You know what I mean? Like, I think he'll produce something around those numbers. But, Smitty definitely returned today. And when you got Smitty and when you got a healthy A.J. Brown, it's just everybody else after that is just secondary. You know what I mean? It's a true fight for that third position and beyond. But then when you got a guy like Quez Watkins, now that third position is solidified. So everybody's fighting for crumbs anyway. So I would get some value out of one of these guys and keep it moving. But I'm really happy to see Smitty back, though.
Yeah, you and me both. For anybody who was concerned about him, though, I would just pump the brakes. He was hurt last offseason and this hurt offseason. The dude played as a rookie all 17 games. So he wasn't missing games in college. He hasn't missed the NFL game. So a little knick-knack, paddywhack, give a dog a bone injury in the offseason don't bother me. I'm glad to see him back. I really do think, though, we're going to see a lot of production from the Quez Watkins and the Zach Pascals, who had a really good first preseason game. Jalen Hurts' first pass rolled to his right. I don't know what that weirdo that you tweeted.
Oh, yeah, dude.
But he rolled to his right and hit my guy Quez Watkins. Watkins did drop a ball later in the game, too, not thrown by Jalen Hurts. But, man, this wide receiving core is stacked, and Dallas Goedert's there. And, again, for as much as people want to say, where was A.J. Brown in the preseason? The reason Dallas Goedert was that wide open is because both DBs followed A.J. Brown.
They definitely follow. And the pass was underrated. You know what I mean? It looked a little awkward because Dallas Goedert had to kind of like backpedal into the end zone because he knew where he was on the field. But Jalen Hurts had to lay that over a linebacker in between the two safeties. Like, if you would have put too much air under that and Dallas Goedert let it go off his tips, that's an easy pick. It's two guys back there. But you know what I mean? That was a real good play. And A.J. Brown definitely commanded a lot of that attention on that play, and it just opened up everything for Dallas Goedert, man. Jalen Hurts, man, he was, I don't even want to say it. I don't even want to talk about the preseason game.
I know.
Bro, you feel me, though, Mike? Like, he was impressive to me. You know what I mean? He was impressive to me. You know what I mean? The only thing, like people want to say the only thing he did wrong was take the hit. He ran out of bounds. You know what I mean? It's not his fault. Like, you know what I mean? He didn't throw an incomplete pass. He took what the defense was giving him. He didn't attempt anything. Honestly, I wanted him to throw a fly route, a deep ball. I wanted him to overthrow the receiver by 30 fucking yards. Throw it into the stands so people could stop disrespecting your arm. You know what I mean? Because I know he could throw a ball far. You know what I mean? It's just the little stuff that he's trying to tweak up. So, all I ever wanted him to do was, take what the defense was giving him. Because you can have performances like that. You can have, top QBRs. You can be 6 for 6 in a touchdown. Just take what they're giving you. They're giving you the way to success. But as much as I was impressed by him, I was really, really impressed by Miles Sanders with the 2 receptions on that drive. You know what I mean? That's the one thing he got to work on, to being a top 15, top 10 back in his league. And I think if he can get that down pat, he could be extended. If he can start catching, it raises, a strong case for us to keep him around.
Yeah, man, I agree. Jalen Hurts showed decisiveness. He saw what he saw and made the moves accordingly, right? One of the biggest things I've been talking about is the second year. A lot of us been saying that, but what that turns into is being more ready, more aware at the line of scrimmage, being able to read the defense pre-snap, right? When you get a guy motion, you see what the defense is doing. You understand the playbook in its totality. So you can look at the defense and say, oh, that's easy man. Oh, that's cover 2. Oh, that's cover 2 under. Oh, they're about to blitz to the left. Oh, they're about to blitz to the right. And you make the right checks. we got players on this team, whether it's AJ, whether it's Quez, whether it's Sanders, whether it's Gainwell, even Goddard can get rumbling, stumbling, hopefully not fumbling. You can get yak. And so Jalen Hurts talked about being a point guard of this offense in the offseason, and that's what he needs to be. And I don't care about the checkdowns. I love it because people want to say Jalen Hurts don't throw it deep. Last year, the deep ball was not that accurate, right? After 25 yards, blah, blah, blah. He was this, that, and the third. But if you look across the league, Jalen Hurts at least attempted as many as any other quarterback. He is in the top 15 in the NFL for attempting deep balls, so he's not afraid to do it. What I did not see from his last year was getting the ball to the playmakers when it needed to be there and letting them do the work. And so the decisiveness, Jack Stahl catch, Quez Watkins catch, Miles Sanders catch, in the season, they're going to turn that into something extra. And when you look at a stat box and you see 4 touchdowns, maybe 2 of them were actually thrown in the end zone. The other 2 might be 50-yard catch and runs by other people, but it still gets credit to the quarterback. And that's what we're going to see gifted to Jalen Hurts this season, which we didn't see last season.
Right. And, a lot of quarterbacks have been getting by using that system, using the dump down and getting the ball to playmakers and letting playmakers be fantastic. Listen, when the last time you seen the Philadelphia Eagles have like a top 10 play on SportsCenter? To have a top 10 play on SportsCenter, that requires a playmaker to make plays.
Jalen
Hurts. What I mean?
Jalen Hurts,
he's the only one. He's the only one making plays. So imagine if Miles Sanders was able to take a screen pass 100 yards to the house. That's 100. That's 100 receiving yards for. That's 100 passing yards for Jalen Hurts, and that's a touchdown, a passing touchdown for Jalen Hurts. That's 100 receiving yards for Miles Sanders. Like when playmakers do their job, everybody around them eats. And I've seen Tom Brady for years dump it down to tight ends and running backs and let them get this yak for him. Therefore, having a top-notch wide receiver wasn't the way that New England really had to go to win back in the day. So getting the ball to your playmakers will definitely help this offense, man. But, as much as I love the performance from Jalen Hurts and as much as I loved how crisp and how smooth things was going, the story will always continue for me to be the defense, man. The defense that Howie Roseman put together is probably that's all you could do, Mike. That's all you could do is flex. That's all you could do, man. The defense is nasty. It transforms itself into something that's going to harass 99% of the quarterbacks we play this year. There's only one quarterback that's going to be comfortable against us somewhat, and I think that's Aaron Rodgers. Nobody else will be able to stand up against this defense and just do whatever they want. We got players that are intelligent to the level of, I haven't seen it, bro. I have not seen a rookie linebacker look this smart as Nakobe Dean. When you look at the plays Nakobe Dean was making in the preseason, man, it's otherworldly, man. It's otherworldly, man. How you feeling about this defense, man?
Man, I love it. And shout out to Kaiser White. And the crazy thing is, though, did you see Hassan Reddick? He was talking to some beat reporter, some media guy, and he said the funny thing is this man called the interception. Kaiser White was in the locker room before the game, like, bro, I'm getting an interception. They were like, no, you're not. He like, watch. Bang. He read
in preseason, though. He's that competitive in preseason to say, I want one in preseason.
And that's crazy. And he only knew he was going to be on the field so short. Like to say I'm confident I'm going to get an interception by only being on the field for 10 minutes. Like, man, you didn't play the whole game. He knew it. He was hungry.
And then the interception was like, I watched it a million times, man. Like the way he lurked and the way he baited Zach Wilson into throwing that ball and catching it clean and tucking it and just going the other way. Like a lot of plays were made from the linebacking position, Mike. A lot of plays were made for the linebacker position. We not used to being good at that level of the defense. Shout out to Dom Taylor, man. Thank you for the 199 super chat. Dom say just tuned in. What's good, y'all? Eagles 12-5. Book it. Listen, man, with this defense and how special this defense could be, I ain't mad at that. I'm definitely not mad at that. But yeah, you could go on and on, man. The list goes on and on. Jordan Davis out there getting quadruple team. Who else? They ain't even treat Aaron Donald like this, Mike. When Aaron Donald was rookie in preseason, they didn't even respect Aaron Donald like this early. They respect this guy so much that it's already scary and it's making it easy for guys to shoot these gaps to quarterbacks already. You know what I mean? Like it's something about Eagles content creators. I feel like we like a lot of us see football differently, but it all makes sense. You know what I mean? Depending on who you talk to. Everybody knew that he was going to be a guy that was attracting triple teams and double teams, making it easier to get the quarterbacks. To see it play out that way and to see how dangerous and effective it could be is scary for us, man. I think this will be a top 5 defense.
Man, yeah. I said easily top 10. I'm not gonna get too carried away, but last night, Friday night's game is starting to get me carried away in the sense that the one thing I think is you never still know about I believe in the offense, no doubt about it. But in the preseason, the offense is more of is it really true like that or is it not true? But the defense is a defense because you're going out there playing such a vanilla defense. You're just letting your stars be stars.
Right.
I'm better than you. We're going to play a vanilla defense. It's going to be easy to make this throw, but my talent is so good. This is what we do. And we didn't get a sack. And I understand there was a multitude of defensive linemen getting thrown in and out. Hargrave didn't play. But once you get Hargrave, Fletch, BG, Sweat, even the hothead Derek Barnett, and Davis is on the field with them mixed match, it's going to be crazy. And Davis will, by the end of the season, have the same amount of snaps as Fletch and Hargrave. I think the recipe for the Eagles is to keep them all fresh. When you got a tired offensive line in the fourth quarter with the ball game tied, and Jordan Davis, who is lighter than he was in Georgia and is playing the same amount of snaps and or a little bit less because of Fletch and Hargrave doing their thing, you're always going to have a fresh guy. Last year, there was times where Fletch was tired and Hargrave was tired and blah, blah, blah. These guys are never going to be tired because when you mix and match them, they're going to stay fresh. And there's always a guy that I believe can get it done. Hargrave is underrated. Fletch is everything we wanted for the last 10 years. And I asked this question on the poll, and I want to get your answer. When it's all said and done, can Davis be better than Fletch?
I think it's, you know what, man? Yeah, he can. He can.
Stamp that, yo.
I'm gonna tell you why. You got to stamp that. I'm gonna tell you why, because Fletch has not been a sack machine. Like, Fletch ain't known for sacks.
Early though, he was getting it though.
He was getting it right. He was getting it early. Then that's when the guys start double teaming him. They like, all right, we got to double team him and slow him down. Fletch is very, very disruptive. Still very disruptive in the middle. Jordan Davis, they're not even going to put him one-on-one. Like you would be crazy to, you know what I mean? And I think the NFL already sees that. So it's not going to be no period in time where you're going to leave him one-on-one. If you do, then you're just asking for trouble. I think they're going to double team him early in his career. Like, as soon as he's on the field, regular season, he's going to get double teamed. And that's going to, that's going to prove his worth. You know what I mean? It's going to let defenses be creative behind him. So I think that will make his career better. He'll be on a lot of good teams because of who he is. If we do something, he better be only
on the Eagles.
Right. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Our defense will always be able to get to the quarterback because of him. You know what I mean? So I think that's what will make him better.
Exactly. And like I said, it's a preseason. Maybe the Jets were trying some stuff, blah, 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 blah. But you got to be kidding me to say that a guy's first game in his NFL career, in a game where it doesn't matter, you're exhausting that many bodies to try to stop Jordan Davis. And once we get creative, once we stop being vanilla, man, Davis is going to eat up so many bodies, that Sweat, BG, everybody else's job is going to be so easy. And I think Davis is not going to, like, people think he's a big body going to eat up the run, blah, blah, blah. He will be better at rushing the passer than people think. I'm willing to bet anything on it. It's that Georgia didn't use him that way because of the talent on that D-line and just using him for what they want him to be used for. They rotate too much no matter who you are. Georgia's line was so stacked they kept it moving. But man, Davis is, I'm about to throw that word out, that generational
bro, he really might be, bro. And he really might be. And it feels good to have that, dog, for a change. I ain't gonna lie. Drew Robinson, thank you for the super chat. He said, our team is only going to get better. Can't wait. Fly, Eagles, fly. You already know, man. My guy, Michael Felder, what's up with you? He ain't say nothing. He just came through with the $10 super chat. We know what it is. Mike always been a long-time supporter. And, if this guy is a generational talent, I mean, bro, it's crazy, man. He really, I didn't even think of it. I'm living in La La Land over here, Mike. You know what I mean? When I'm making these thumbnails for these videos, it's hard to pick who should be on the thumbnail now. It's so many stars, you know what I mean? It's so many people making plays. Like, you got reporters saying TJ Edwards has shown to be the best linebacker in camp. But then it's like, well, Kaiser White got something to say. It's just good people all across the board. You ain't hear nothing bad. You ain't hear nothing bad about cornerbacks or nothing like that. Which leads me to a question I got for you. After the preseason game, what position groups are you still worried about? For me, that tight end 2 position is looking really, really shaky. You know what I mean? And shout out to our guy, Clay Harbor. You know what I mean? He helped me realize that. I wasn't even thinking about it because we got so much going on. So shout out to Clay Harbor for that. And, the safeties, man. I mean, everybody's still talking about the safeties, but they haven't proven to be a liability so far, especially in the first preseason game. In preseason games, people try your defense deep a lot. You know what I mean? I just seen the safeties just didn't put themselves in bad situations. So, them my 2 answers, tight end and safety. How you feeling?
Yeah, man. It's hard. Again, after this one game, and it is one game, and it was
Right.
so little snaps because we didn't play much. Once we saw the turnover and the touchdown, it's like, get these guys out. But shout out to Swaggy G with the $2 super chat. Watch out for Goddard. That's definitely. But as LB said, who is the other guy? And I think the Eagles don't even know, right? I think Grant Calcaterra is a guy who can turn into something good, but he's nicked up already, and that's been his problem throughout college. Not so much as body injuries, but concussions. All that being said, Jack Stahl got a catch. Richard Rodgers got a catch. And Richard Rodgers, one of them guys who Clay said he didn't look athletic and all that, but he's never been athletic. He's just been a guy who gets it done. And when I had Clay on, I was like, hey, yo, bro, though, like, you looking pretty
right.
shape.
You know what I mean? Right.
Go ahead and throw it. He's like, listen, I would. And, I would. But after 1 week, I need like 5 more weeks off to get back to where I want to, So he said he can play every 5th game. That's how the NFL can beat somebody up, no matter how they look. But yeah, the tight end 2 spot is definitely something to look at. I think Richard Rodgers and Jack Stahl are nothing to be like, wow. But how many have wow tight ends at the number 2 position? Again, we're going into the season where I think 11 personnel is going to be the majority. There was once upon a time where we played 12 personnel so much. And the reason why is because our 2 best pass catchers were Goddard and Ertz. So if Goddard and Ertz are your best playmakers at the tight end position, it's smart to play 55, 60%, 12 personnel where you keep 2 tight ends on and only 2 wide receivers. Now, as good as Goddard is, I mean, as decent as our tight end 2s are, we want to get the Zach Pascals, the Quez Watkins. Even if it's a guy like Jalen Reagor, we rather them be on the field and they're still able to block good enough with our offensive line and Jalen Hurts / whatever running backs back there that we can still get it done with 11 personnel. I don't think the tight end 2, although it's not somebody who's going to jump out, I don't think it's going to be that big of an issue because to me, what I want from a tight end 2, can you block? When a tight end 2's in there, it's mainly going to be for blocking. We can't show our card and be like every single time a tight end 2 comes in, we run the ball, but that's going to be the majority of why he's there. And so Jack Stahl, not a great athlete, but can block, and I'm cool with it.
But that's in your case. So I'm looking at it like this. Why I say tight end 2. I say tight end 2 simply because Jalen Hurts uses Goddard a lot. Like if it's one thing he remember, it's where that tight end is on a lot of the throwing routes for the Philadelphia Eagles.
If he goes down, we're in trouble.
Right. That's what I'm saying. If he goes down, a blocking tight end 2, it can still help you if you want to establish the run. You know what I mean? If you don't plan on using the tight end anymore. But if you're in the 3rd and long, like Goddard's routes are extremely important and teams game plan for Goddard. So when you don't have to game plan, but right now you can't game plan for no one player. Right now it's like, may God help you. Because there's so many stars in the passing game. For real. That's how I'm looking at it, Mike. It's like, may God help you. Because if you want to double A.J. Brown, you can't leave a route running technician like Devontae Smith uncovered. Or you can't have, you know what I mean, a blitzing linebacker with no coverage capability. Like, I'm not afraid of Dallas Goedert or Micah Parsons. I'm not afraid of that.
He'll cook him.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not afraid of that. You know what I'm saying? And Micah Parsons is a guy that always got to be on the field. We're so talented that we could force that matchup. You know what I mean? We could game plan to force that matchup. Let's make Parsons have to cover. Let's spread them out so much that they got to cover. And once you lose a guy like Goddard, you lose that ability. So, I got to kind of change safety though, man, because I didn't really hear nothing about safety. I'm going with punt returner. Because I heard actually today, A.J. Brown was fielding punts today.
And didn't Covey get hurt?
Yeah, like a ligament. I think Minshew threw a ball too hard, which is how that's come on, that's impossible. I mean, I guess he just had his, no, I'm not saying Minshew can't do it. I'm saying like these dudes catch balls out of jugs machines. You know what I mean? Like they should be used to the velocity of a ball. I just think the ball hit him the wrong way. I don't think he threw it too hard. But he's down because of that. So
Yeah.
now you got AJ Brown, your $25 million dude fielding punts. I would hope that he ain't doing that in the regular season.
He better not be.
You know what I'm saying? So that's my point. So being as though he ain't doing it, why the hell is he practicing on it? He should be practicing doing wide receiver stuff. You need to go find you a wide receiver that's trying to make the team and get him good at fielding punts. Because if I ever see AJ Brown field a punt in a regular season game, bro, Nick Sirianni got to go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Whoever okayed that move got to go.
Yo, I agree. Shout out to Isaiah Burns though with the super chat too, the green one. But let me just say this real quick. I think at the end of the day, y'all gonna kill me for this. Jalen Reagor last year was just an absolute waste of a lot of things. I understand that. But again,
you saying, I know what you're gonna say. You want to keep him to field punts.
Listen. Just look. He came into this camp better prepared than he's ever been, right? And look, at the end of the day, he's a human, and the man lost. The dude is younger than me and LB. The man lost one of his closest friends, lost a family member. Yeah, he's sensitive. It is what it is, right? I'm not saying he's going to ever be the receiver we thought he was, or could be at the first round talent. Last year, it was the way it was all in his head, his decision making, the way he would just smack the ball for no reason and or field a punt that he shouldn't, not field a punt he should. It was up here. I don't know. I never said, man, this guy is just not athletic. He got skill. So all I'm saying is this. I think the one way that he can actually be, and I know the chat gonna kill me, and I probably regret this, right? But it is what it is. I think that you gotta let Reagor do it in the preseason. Let him do a little bit more. And look, the special teams, I like Covey. I want him to be that guy. But I really do think giving Reagor a second chance only at the punt return. Hey, listen. I'm predicting before week 4, if he does it, he's gonna cash it in for a touchdown.
He gotta go, Mike. He got to go. He gotta go. I'm not gonna lie to you. He is one of the worst punt returners I've ever seen in my life. I don't know if it was in his head. I don't know. I just gotta keep it a bean. Every time. But Mike, every time he decided to call for the fair catch, let the ball hit the ground, that shit never went in the end zone. It's like LB, he had the worst luck of all time.
LB, I know we're live, but can we cancel this and edit that back out? I'm just kidding. No, you're right though, and I agree with you. And every single episode of Go Talk, I've been nothing but negative when it comes to Jalen Reagor. Mm-hmm. However, all I'm saying is this though, we are backed up against the wall. Our special teams, so far, again, it was one game. Right. One preseason game. Who knows who comes out? Maybe Zach Pascal, maybe Jason Huntley. Covey gets back healthy. I think Jason Huntley, showing the electricity he had in training camp with all the beat writers reporting, I think Huntley is the perfect guy for the job. Don't get me wrong. I like Quez too, but he might be more valuable as a wide receiver. All that being said, I'm saying if Jalen Reagor is still cashing Eagles checks this season, he got to earn them checks, right?
He do. No, he do. I would make him. Right. I agree. I would keep him on the roster. I think he's going to make the team. I think Jalen Reagor is actually going to make the team
unless he gets traded.
Unless he gets traded, unless he gets traded, he's going to make the team. So I would make him the punt returner. But punt return is such a valuable resource, man. He's been so bad at it. He got he got 2 punt returns.
He just got a touchdown on his resume against the Packers.
It's just one against the Packers.
He got like 10 negative things on his resume as well.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He hasn't shown to be. He's shown to be a better wide receiver than a punt returner, which is crazy to do to me. I mean, how it is absolutely mind-boggling how he's shown that. So I wouldn't even put him back there. I would just keep him as a wide receiver. He is buns back there, yo.
Well, look. At the end of the day, and I know the chat, and rightfully so, Joseph, and like, this man's on this, that, and the third. But look, again, I ain't afraid to say something that's unpopular. And all I'm saying is this. The dude's getting paid first round money. He's going to be on the roster. If a trade comes where we get something back, we're not going to get a first. We're not going to get a second. We're not going to get a third. We're going to get something that we don't really want. But getting him off the books saves money, and it just turns the page. It turns the chapter.
Mm-hmm.
We have a dynamic wide receiving core. So even if we don't get value back for what we invested in Reagor, it's still a positive by just moving on. You're giving somebody else a chance. Whether it's Greg Ward Jr. or anybody who comes in at the 5th wide receiver, if an injury happens to one of these guys. All that being said, though, while he's getting a check, while we do not understand or really know who's going to be the special team guy, and if you ask me, Reagor is still not on my top of the list. I'm saying it because no matter what we do, right, as content creators, we are not Howie Roseman. We don't work inside that NovaCare complex, and so they're going to use Jalen Reagor. So sometimes it hurts to hear the truth, but the fact of the matter is the Eagles are trying to find a way to make him somewhat successful. Even if it's not first round talent successful, they're trying to find a way. He will be on this roster unless a trade happens. Who knows who gets desperate? At the end of the day, Reagor, with all the bull crap that happened in his life off the field and on the field, he's in the best mindset he's ever been. And he understands when you come out of college and you're a first round pick, you're like, ain't nobody tell me nothing. And then you get smacked in the face with all these jokes on social media and you about to be called a bust. That could change somebody. And all he knows is whether it's with the Eagles or with another team, hopefully with another team, he knows this is his last chance. And as he said, as Nick Sirianni said, he's only going to get maybe 2 or 3 targets or 2 or 3 opportunities a game. He better make the most of them. And he said he will. All I'm saying that he came out of TCU with a skill set. He was even known more at TCU as a special team guy than a receiver. And all I'm saying is the bad mindset. A lot of us, and you said it multiple times before I end this little sequilatory, it's his attitude. He looks lazy. He runs routes lazy. He does this lazy. The deflection against the Packers was just stupid and lazy. If he gets that mindset out, I think there's still a skill set underneath all that ugliness. And so with Covey being hurt, I don't know if Jason Huntley makes a team. You still got to give him the opportunity to say, my bad last year. I'm going to return punts the best of my ability. Maybe it sucks that I'm a first round punt returner only, but I got to take what I can take and do what I can do.
Yeah, I want to see him like
he's not good, but he's going to be on the team unless a trade.
Right. Yeah. Like you're saying, like I want to see him like go out there and like, volunteer to be a gunner on special teams. Like go out there and try to do something. I'm saying though, I just think he's in a bad situation. I think you have to trade him because I don't think they're going to, or they're not going to find what they're looking for because he's not going to get the reps to even prove that he could be a first round talent. So you're not going to get nothing for him regardless. So if you go out there and stink it up, like, I mean, we could actually have a worse year. He actually could end up being deeper on the depth chart if guys come in and take, because he's not going to be the only one that's going to get 2 or 3 snaps now or 2 or 3 targets. Like guys like Zach Pascal is going to get like 3 to 4 targets a game and stuff like that probably. So if you go out there and stink it up, they're going to just give Zach Pascal more targets and he just going to fall to the wayside. So like he really got to like score like every time he touched the ball if he want more reps. But no, I don't know. We'll see how it shake out though. But AJ Brown back there is not panning out for me at all. So I think Hurts today actually tried to, let me get to the super chat real quick. Isaiah Burns, shout out to you, bro. Thanks for the $4.99. Davis has the potential to be Aaron Donald status, no cap. Also, Quez is gonna have a huge year. Let's go Birds. I agree with that wholeheartedly. My guy. You know what I mean? The talent is there. LT, shout out to you, LT. If our defense pats elite and carries where Jalen's what? If our defense pats and elite carries where Jalen, oh, maybe I'm looking at that wrong.
Now you're right.
It's making me crazy. Only has the game managed through a successful season. What's the price range to pay him? Oh, so what do you want to pay Jalen if he succeed? I mean, you're gonna be upset. I'm telling you, a lot of people gonna be upset. That's all I'm gonna say. Hey, a lot of people gonna be mad.
It's not gonna be as worse as my Reagor take. So go ahead and you can say whatever you want.
No, I mean, it's gonna be very close to 40. It's gonna be. I mean, that's just the going rate. Like Think about it like this: when you go in the supermarket, the same way they've been making bread the same way for hundreds of years now. At this point, I would imagine. But bread used to be 50 cents, right? Now bread like 5.55 a loaf. You know what I'm saying? It's the same bread. That's how you got to look at this quarterback thing, and it won't upset you because when he earned the contract extension, a lot of people gonna be sick. They're gonna be sick to the same degree. People are mad that he went 6 for 6. They're mad that he played good. I don't get the climate of this, Mike. I thought we all wanted to win.
Yeah, I agree. And listen, at the end of the day, LB's right. Listen, the cap is going up. It went down a little bit due to C-19 and blah, 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 but the cap is going up. But what I do think, if Jalen Hurts is who we all believe he is, not saying what you believe he is on the field, because we all have different expectations and blah, 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 blah for him. However, the man who puts the team in front of everything, I think he will be the one. If there's any quarterback that's going to be Tom Brady-esque, and before you say, stop comparing him to Tom Brady, listen to the next words that come out my mouth. Via the paycheck, Tom Brady has always been a top 5 quarterback in the league, and he's never been a top 5 earner paycheck-wise. So I'm saying if Jalen Hurts is the cloth we believe he is, and he's all about the W's, he might, again, the rate's still going to be high because that rate as a quarterback is automatically high. 27 plus. You can't pay a quarterback less than almost 30 million. That's the bargain bin quarterbacks. With that being said, Jalen Hurts, I believe, can get it done for a reasonable cost because I think it's in his DNA. He's a rare breed. I ain't saying.
No, I think it's in his DNA as well. But I mean, if you go out there, and you perform if you win a playoff game, you could start talking about $38-39 million a year. You know what I mean? You can start talking like that. You know what I mean? And that's just what it costs. You know what I mean? Think about, wide receivers a high paid wide receiver used to be like $16 million a year. People couldn't believe wide receivers was making that.
The Dallas Cowboys let Amari Cooper go for a 5th round pick because they didn't want to pay him $20 million. Now Tyreek Hill, Devontae Adams, DeAndre Hopkins, Michael Thomas, AJ Brown, DK Metcalf, Terry McLaurin, they all make 20 plus. Listen, Michael Thomas ain't just signed his deal. D-Hop ain't just signed his deal. Them deals been 2 or 3 years ago, like Amari Cooper. The Dallas Cowboys did not want to pay this man $20 million. That's why they let him go for a 5th round pick.
He just wanted 20 to stay.
Well, no. That's what they would have owed him next year. He still had 1 more year in his contract.
Oh yeah,
$20 million. Oh, they broke.
They gotta be, dog. They gotta be, because $20 million is a deal.
That's cheap.
That's cheap right now.
As much as we poo-poo Amari Cooper, if he's the receivers are only going to get, there's not going to, in the next, every single year from today on, if you are a B plus, now we got some A pluses on our team, don't get me wrong.
Facts.
But if you are a B plus wide receiver, you are going to get paid 20 million or more. Christian Kirk, who's a C plus, got dang near 19 million. So what I'm saying is, if you are a B or better, you're going to get at least 20 million.
Right. What people got to understand is like some people might have how they feel about Jalen Hurts, but that's not going to deter the value of the position. You know what I mean? You might say, well, I don't think Jalen Hurts is worth $38 million a year. Almost every quarterback that's starting the National Football League is worth $38 million a year. You know what I mean? Or they're worth over 35. Like the price is ridiculous. Who was the last guy? What is Kyler Murray making? He making he making more than 40 a year, I think.
A lot. And there is this thing. When you are early to market, you get to now dictate what you pay people and stuff like that. Right? That's why when we paid Carson Wentz, yes, it was, oh wow, you saw what he did in 2017, but what he do in 2018? What he do in 2019? Yeah, he won the last 4 games, and I definitely hyped up. Oh, you beat the Washington football team and the Giants and the Cowboys. You took grocery workers to the playoffs, and you got knocked out. I gave him props for that, and we paid him because of that. But we got there early, and that's why he was only ever making like 27 million a year. Is because when your time is up, your agent. This is still a business. I mean, we like to play Madden, we like to watch TV, but it's still a business. To us, it's an entertainment for our enjoyment, but for them, it's their livelihood. If you are going into your meeting room with your boss, You're not going to go in here like, whatever you want to pay me, go ahead and pay me. No, you're going to try to get every dollar that you believe you're worth.
Right.
And if you're not worth it, you're still going to try to get as much as possible. You're going to go around and say, well, look, hold on. Look what this guy got paid. Look what this guy got paid. And this is what I can do for you. Mm-hmm. It's a business. And so
the top guy,
everything, what is it called? Inflation or whatever. It goes up.
Yeah. Well, yeah. When you're talking quarterbacks, the top guy resets the market. Like when Patrick Mahomes got paid. So basically, Justin Herbert is going to get a little bit more than what Kyler Murray got paid, or if he was to get paid next. Like Lamar Jackson is going to get more than Kyler Murray. Every new guy resets the market. Right now, Carson Wentz's contract is cheap. Carson Wentz's contract is lovely right now for Washington. That's nothing for them. What is 26 mil? Quarterbacks is.
And hopefully his play's cheap too.
Right, you know what I mean? Hopefully. I mean, it's looking that way. You know what I mean?
Yo, wait, hold on. Did you see the interview? I don't mean to cut you off, but yo, somebody from Washington interviewed Carson Wentz, and I ain't never.
I almost felt like it wasn't real. That was crazy.
But, yo, I ain't never see somebody sit across from somebody and be that blunt. He straight said like, Philly didn't want you. Indianapolis didn't want you. How do you feel? And Carson's keeping his straight face like, well, I really don't listen to that stuff. But he straight came to him was like, well, so reports out of camp are that you kind of suck. Like, yo, he was
like, I didn't hear that. He was like, thanks for letting me know. And that's why I respect Carson, because Carson never I still respect Carson. Like, he didn't get out of character, even though dude was blatantly trying to make fun of him. But you know, it is what it is, man. He can't deny. I mean, that's the level of play that he showed thus far. Like, this is the thing, man. Oh, let me tell the people this real quick. Since we talking about Carson Wentz and FedEx Field, listen, we're going to be out there. Let me get to the super chat real quick, though. Shout out to my guy, Texas Eagle. He said, if we try to get Rager through waivers and someone claims him, do we get a comp pink? What determines the round? That's a good question. I got to check up on that one. I'm not sure. I'm actually not sure how that will work. So, you know, I'm going to be out there, man. The ultimate bus trip to FedEx Field. If you want Philly, get with Philly Sports Trips. Go to phillysportstrips.com. I'm going to put the link to the description. You know what I'm saying? 4th and John. A lot of people, man. 97.5 The Fanatic. I'm going to be down there. You get you a comfortable and a cozy, you know what I'm saying, charter ride from Philly, you know what I mean, up to FedEx Field. You enjoy the game, you drink, tailgate, sit with a bunch of Eagles fans. You get a comfortable ride back home. You ain't got to do no driving. phillysportstrips.com, man. See what they got.
I'm going to be there too. They hit me up. Listen, they got close to 700 people. I think 675. Right. The goal is that 1K. So they're only about 325 people away. And once they get that 1,000, I think they're gonna cop it off of that, because they got to make sure that they bring you guys home, right? You can't leave you stranded. So listen, don't wait. Go get that John, because listen, LB gonna be there, right? Even though like he be in the DMV. Right? I'm only an hour away from Philly. I live in the ABE, for the people who know Pennsylvania and the ABE. Like an hour away from the link, so I might just drive to the link and we gonna park it up, and I'm trying to get there too. So.
Right,
hey,
it's going to be
might
lit.
Get up for the first time and listen.
Right, exactly.
We might have to bring a little bit of equipment and set up on the pregame. You know.
Listen. Oh, listen. I got. You know what? We should do that. I'm gonna have a truck. Tough. I'll throw a table right in the truck. We out there. Shit, I go buy a generator for that. You know what I mean? But yeah, it's gonna be lit. I think Fresh gonna be out there too. Definitely a good time, man. You know what I mean? Hop on that bus, man. Get you a comfortable ride up there and back. It's gonna be a vibe, man. Shout out my guy Young Mello, man. I like to see the Olympian Devin Allen get reps at kick return, punt return. That's a good point. We haven't heard about him much. His speed can be utilized there. It's Hurt's second full season. People give him half year to figure it out. If he really that bull, you know what I mean? No, it ain't gonna even take that long. I'm telling you, it's not gonna take that long.
I'm with it though. And I do think, again, I've always been a guy for everybody who's still remembering the Jalen Reagor take about 30 minutes ago. I've been a guy saying that one of Britton Covey and or Devin Allen will make the team, and they're going to cling on to this roster via the special team position, which is kick return / punt return, but they still have to be serviceable as a wide receiver. Knock on fake wood, but say we have 2 receivers go down, not for the year, but for one game. We still got to have receivers come in. And so if Covey or Allen makes a team as a punt return / kick returner, they still got to be able to run routes. I think Covey has shown that he's been more reliable and or more electric throughout camp. Devin Allen has had opportunities. It just didn't really translate to too much. again, he got Olympian speed, but as a hurdler, I don't know how to say that, whatever the word is.
He actually might not make the roster.
It's gonna be tough.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be tough for him, man. And I like some of our I like our young secondary. You know what I mean? I was worried about Minshew through camp. I ain't going to lie. I feel like Minshew was stinking it up through camp. I feel like we needed to look at options for, a backup quarterback. But Minshew played better in the preseason game. So some guys are just gamers.
Let me ask you this, though. Why did they play Carson Strong? Is he hurt? There's been no report that he's hurt, but why didn't they give him a little bit of reps?
I mean, I think they're going to do that next week. The reason why they didn't play him, what I think is because, Signett been balling out. If I'm saying his name
until
right.
the preseason game.
Right, until the actual game. So now I think they're going to give Carson some luck. Because like we just talked about, some guys are just gamers. Some guys are practice warriors. Some guys are gamers. Like I'm the type of dude, like, am I really going to study hard for the test? Not really. I'm going to try my luck. I'm going to try my luck on the first hand. And, I've been successful a lot. Like, you know what I mean? Some guys just, the preparation don't mean that much to some guys. Some guys just perform in game time.
We talking about practice?
Right. Prime example, AI. You know what I mean? The prep is, you know what I mean? Some guys go to practice drunk. You know what I mean? A lot of the times. But
hey, listen, he played. But listen, it was crazy because just to bring AI real quick, there were nights where he would go out partying to 2 in the morning, come back and drop 50 points. Then he tried to be on the up and up. My man kept it neat, quiet,
right,
family day, and he'll come out and stink it up. Like some people need that. Like everybody gets ready or right their own way. And this man literally would be a party animal and drop 45, 50. And then if he did worry about his body, let me go eat a nice little shrimp dinner and just go home and read a book. He wasn't that good. He needed that. Like
right, he needed to be normal because playing football should be normal. You know what I mean? Yes, the preparation and the stretching and doing all of this is fine, but the act of playing football is normal. That's what I like about Jalen Hurts the most. I feel like Jalen Hurts is a gamer. Like when the game is on the line, I feel like all his attributes go up some type of way. You know what I mean? Because there have been many situations, Mike, where the Philadelphia Eagles either scored, tied the game, or took the lead last year. I want to say like 3 times, and the defense just couldn't hold their end of the bargain. Like, you know what I mean? This defense and Jalen Hurts last year with the weapons, they beat the Chiefs. We didn't, you know what I mean? We didn't punt that game. This defense and Jalen Hurts in the offense last year, they beat the Chargers. You know what I mean? You win some of those games, if your defense can help you out a lot. That's why I'm really, really up on this defense way more than I am on the offense.
Yeah, and just to stay at Jalen Hurts a little bit, the crazy thing is, though, I know, look, I tweeted this prior to the Jets-Eagles preseason game. I said, here we go. Tonight, we're going to hear a bunch of outlandish takes on Jalen Hurts, whether he's good or bad, right? The fact of the matter is this. Jalen Hurts has a skill set that he's always going to use. He's always going to use his legs. And my thing is this. Just let's throw this out there. Say last year, there were 8 times every single game where he ran from a clean pocket. Let's just say he did that 8 times last year. This year, with improvement, he's still going to do it, but he's only going to do it 3 or 4 times, right? What I'm saying is he's only 24. Every quarterback makes mistakes. Every quarterback throws interceptions. And you will see some last year Jalen Hurts. But the fact of the matter is we got to see that less than last year. And that shows me how the improvement is being made. You don't just wake up tomorrow like, oh, I was the 20th overall quarterback. Tomorrow I wake up or won all season. I'm top 10. It takes time. It actually takes putting all the work that Hurts is putting in. And so my thing is he's going to make some of the mistakes, but he's going to be, I think he's going to be a lot more consistent. And that's been my whole thing with Hurts, consistency. And that's what he's been preaching. And man, shout out to Jersey boy, because we got some scary hours coming up. Joel
definitely got some scary hours.
I can say that.
Right. Touchdown offense, defense, T.O. Great to see scary hours. You're right. You already know. I think that Hurts is getting better at throwing on the run. I think he's using the throw to find better passing lanes. So he's using the throw to beat the angle, so to speak. Like the first play of the game, for instance, he rolled out to the right because he had to throw to the right. You know what I mean? He didn't want to angle that ball. You know what I mean? I think he's using it like that. That. And when you're throwing on a run like that, you're going to get better and better at throwing on a run. So people will, to use Jalen Hurts and not have him use his legs in any way is just a disservice to you. Like you need to just go get a new quarterback then. You know what I mean? If you don't want the guy to use his legs at all. What I'm saying is, man, he making it work for him. And what I noticed, the main thing from the preseason game was he was faster. You know what I mean? It wasn't much just bailing without going through your progressions. You can see that helmet turning, then he taking off. Or you can see that helmet turning, somebody getting beat, and he's showing the instincts to take off. Like one time he got flushed out. I think, was it Sua Opeta? He got beat on the play. Yeah, and it forced him to flush it out. So, it's no premature leaving the pocket. Every quarterback wish they could leave the pocket. Every quarterback wish they was athletic enough to extend the play. Jalen Hurts naturally has that ability. So now it's all about extending the play versus to running the play and keeping the ball in your hands. I'd rather see him extend more plays than taking the ball for like direct snaps and, just being a runner on the play. So we got to distinguish that difference, I think.
Well, look. Again, I want Jalen Hurts to throw the ball more than run. But at the end of the day, again, when you do call a quarterback run, and you have a skill set like Hurts and or Lamar Jackson, where you are not just a guy who can run, but you're dangerous in the run game. You get numbers against the defense. When I hand the ball to Miles Sanders, when Jalen Hurts hands the ball to Miles Sanders, what does he do? He just sits back there and watch. That's what every quarterback does. After you hand the ball off, your job is to sit back and watch. That means you got 11 people on the field. They got 11 people on the field. So your quarterback is one of them 11. When you hand the ball to Miles Sanders, it's 12 defensive players trying to tackle or outmaneuver 11 offensive players. 11 defensive players trying to outmaneuver 10 offensive players. Blah, blah, blah. With that being said, when Jalen Hurts keeps the ball and Miles Sanders can block for him too, now it's 11 on 11.
He evens the playing field.
12. It evens the playing field. So, and he has a skill set that I want to utilize. All that being said, you're right. Extending the play is a part of his game. Last year, what he did is after extending the play, he put his eyes down too much and always ran.
Right.
What I want him to do now is extend the play, run if you see fit. If you know you can gain positive yards, if you know that by looking up while you're moving out of the pocket, it's a better opportunity to gain yards. There's nobody really open, so you run for the first down and or positive yardage. But keep your eyes open so that while you're thinking about running and the defense changes, and now you got the free-for-all play where now it's just like everybody just trying to find an open spot. If you're playing zone, smart wide receivers and our tight ends fit in the little seams, you can then still throw down the field. Some of Patrick Mahomes, Tom Brady-ish 1-2-3 step throw. Some of Pat Mahomes' best plays is extending the play, not running, but then finding Kelsey or Reek deep somewhere. And we saw that because when you look at that Quez Watkins play, there was green grass. When he rolled to the right, he could have ran for maybe 7 to 10 yards, which to me, that's moving the chains. But instead of running, he kept his eyes up and he made a 25, 30-yard pass to Quez Watkins. So I just want him to keep his eyes up, and great things can happen because, as you said, there's only a handful of quarterbacks that can extend the play as good as Jalen Hurts.
Right. Russell Wilson's been doing it for a very, very long time as well. Russell used to run with the ball, but then he just realized that if I could run 5 yards to the left or 5 yards to the right hash mark or whatever, I buy myself some time and I give myself new throwing ollies. I give myself more of the field. I give myself an advantage. You know what I mean? Because now the defense got to accommodate me moving out. Like, you always have to seal the edge with Jalen Hurts. Because even sometimes when he does hand the ball off to Miles Sanders, he's faking like he got it and still going the other way to keep the misdirection alive. So it's very, very crazy, the different ways that this team can attack. So, I'm very excited for this season, man. I can't wait, man. It's not a lot of excuses for failure. It's not a lot of room for error. I'm not expecting this man to come out here and be Tom Brady. I'm expecting his offense to move the ball. That's it. Move the ball. I'm not expecting to see a lot of 3-and-outs. I know they happen. It's a football season. I'm not expecting to see a lot of slow starts. I'm not, because you mean to tell me I don't think it's many teams in the league that can shut us down, run and pass. That can totally shut us down. I don't think it's a lot of it, man. You know what I mean? Some teams might be stout against our run, but then that means they don't got the coverage. You know what I mean? You got to be really built well to be able to shut this team down, or we're going to end up shutting down ourselves. That's the only way I can see failure, man.
Yeah, man. I mean, look, there's just so many ways. And what we saw last night or on Friday night was just a little piece of it. And we still kept it vanilla, whether it was the defense and the offense. But do you know why it didn't look fully vanilla? Because we have the playbook wide open. right? If you look at a guy who's as good as listen, I'm trying to think of like a standstill quarterback that is really good. Tom Brady. Why do I gotta think? Tom Brady can make any throw, can do anything, but still, you can't. There's a part of a playbook that a coach has, which is using a quarterback's mobility that you can never really use for Tom Brady. The other part he executes right away, but the playbook is wide open, and I need the Eagles to keep it funky, keep it fresh, and stay creative. Always make the defense think. I want to see AJ Brown to the left. Next play to the right. I want to see Devontae Smith. Why is he in the slot? Why is Quez on the outside? What the heck is going on? Because if you got defensive players who say, you know what, our goal was to shut down AJ Brown. Well, guess what? If you got a cornerback that's going to follow him, but he better get ready to go this way and that way and this way and that way. I want to see AJ, Devontae, and Quez in one game all play every single position. I mean, I want to see what the heck, AJ Brown in the slot, Devontae and Quez on the outside. You mix it up, and you got too many avenues. And when all things fail, he is second to Lamar Jackson. And listen, I don't care what anybody says. He's creeping up. Listen, that Saints run last year, I ain't never seen Lamar do something like that. That was break ankle / clutch / it was on third down, and it was the icing on the cake. That run was dirty. And he didn't do it one time. He did it. He just did it to BG
in practice. Yeah. No. I seen Lamar do some stuff like that. Though I ain't gonna lie.
No. But listen, Lamar's done.
You talk about with that hard cut. Now that Jalen, that's like a signature move for Jalen when he plant that foot to make that hard cut and make the defender miss. The same thing he did to BG in the Saints play. Yeah, so you're right. Lamar don't got that in his bag. But Jalen,
Lamar's quicker and shiftier, no doubt about it.
Yeah.
However, what I'm saying, that play against the Saints, listen,
it was like an and one play.
What I'm saying,
it was crazy.
If you take one of Lamar's best plays, if you could even, and listen, you could take Michael Vick's best play. Michael Vick and Lamar Jackson have more highlight runs.
Right.
But if you put each of their best run, man, it's gonna be an argument because
you know what, you're right.
Dirty.
You know what, you're right. That was dirty. If you isolate in that play against their best play, you're right. That was dirty because it was people oohing and ahhing like they was at an N1 basketball game.
That was,
you know what I mean? It was dirty. You know what I mean? And it was at home. It was dirty. You know what I mean? But it is what it is, man. You know, I think we poised for a big one. Who's our next preseason game against? So what do we have coming up next? Do we have joint practice next?
Yeah, I actually was wondering that myself because like I saw the bum already have joint practice with the Broncos prior to their first preseason game, which I didn't watch because it is what it is.
Ours is prior to the who we got next, the Browns, I think.
Our next game is on August 21st against the Browns. So I would think that this week.
Should be some joint practice.
I would think that we should have some joint practice because it was supposed to be but we were supposed to have joint practices against
the Dolphins too. So,
yeah,
but that's the third game. I think that's the third or the last preseason game.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm excited to see about joint practice. I think Jordan Davis makes a name for himself in joint practice.
He's gonna hurt somebody over there. He's not gonna hurt like not physically hurt. And I don't wish injury on no other team, including my own, of course. What I'm saying is. He's gonna put somebody on
he's gonna embarrass somebody.
Video. He's gonna embarrass somebody. That's what I mean. Yeah.
He's gonna embarrass somebody for sure. You know what I mean? And this is another test for Hurts. This is like live game action. You know what I mean? This is another example of live game action. You think they tackling in live practice? I think you can't get around that.
You're not going to really hit the quarterbacks. All the quarterbacks are going to be cool. But listen, though, we're going against two great defensive back teams, right? Mm-hmm. We got Denzel Ward. The Cleveland Browns defense is legit. Myles Garrett, Denzel Ward. So both the Browns defense and the Dolphins defense are going to make us work. Xavier Howard on Miami. So like, if you can, like, you couldn't ask for a better team to go joint practice with because they're going to put Hurts and his offense to the test, and I'm all about that. Iron sharpen iron.
Yeah,
whether it's our guys doing it or their guys doing it, I'm all for practice with somebody that you don't want to be too friendly with, right?
Right.
Because no matter what. You have a soft spot for somebody. Like, I like Slay a little bit. Let me run this route a little soft. But the other team, you're not supposed to like nobody over there.
Tyreek Hill gonna come. Tyreek Hill is going to. They're going to challenge us deep in that Dolphins practice.
And I want to see Bradbury and Slay and Maddox be. Listen. If we hear Tyreek Hill, Cedric Wilson, and Jalen Waddle, if we can lock them up.
Right.
I'm talking my talk.
But this the thing though. We will be going against Deshaun Watson against the ones as well though, because he's allowed to practice and he's allowed to play preseason. He just can't play regular season. So he will be going out there getting some working with the ones. So it's gonna be real interesting, man. Oh, we just hit our 1 hour mark too, man. You know what I mean?
Hold on. Listen, shout out to the New York Jets fan in here, and
Where?
listen, my brother's a Jet fan. I don't know how he fell so far from the tree. I'm an Eagle Sixer guy all day, right? He's a Jets Miami Heat guy. I don't understand, but he said, "Can y'all fix y'all turf at the link, please?" Listen, I'm happy to say that it looks to be a 2 to 4 week thing with Zach Wilson. It was a non-contact
That's
injury. I'm glad he's okay, but you can't blame our grass for that. Come on now.
Right, it ain't got nothing to do with our grass. Jordan Davis was chasing that ass from behind. He was scared. You know how you walk up the steps at night and the light off. You feel that chill up your spine. He felt that chill up his spine. Miss Austin, how you doing, Miss Austin? Miss Austin said joint practice is next. So we definitely listen every weekend, man. The season is back in full swing. Every weekend, you're going to be getting an episode of GOAT Talk. We don't know if it's going to be Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, but it's going to be one of those days every week while the season is in full swing. We're going to be recapping the previous week / getting ready for the upcoming week. You already know what it is, man. Me and Philly Mike, we're going to be doing it really, 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 really big this season. GOAT Talk, giving you everything that we got, everything that we get coming straight to y'all, man. So shout out to y'all, 580 people in the building. Thank y'all for tapping in on this Sunday evening. Enjoy your dinner.
Hit that like, man.
Hit that like, hit that subscribe. What you say about it, Mike? Every time you hit that like, you put us in the algorithm so more people see us.
It pushes it out, man.
You know what I'm saying?
Fans in Ireland. We
just trying to run the world. I'm trying to get a Hurt season hat to every country in the world. That's all. Hit that like, you know what I mean? And shout out to y'all. And don't forget, man, if y'all want to catch us week 3, phillysportstrips.com. Book your seat, comfortable situation. Your ticket is included. Go see what they got. We definitely going to be out there. Thank y'all for tapping in. Until next week, y'all know the vibes.